Hello again. It's been absolutely ages since I've made a video, and that's for two reasons really. One, because I haven't had many repair jobs to fix in my workshop, and the second one is that I've been a bit sidetracked making a radio program for a local radio station. Now, I haven't done much on audio recording and stuff like that, but I've been asked to do. I was asked to do this program on vintage radio, not repairs, but vintage radio programs, and so that's took an awful big trench of my time. Not because of the content, loads of content, but because I was getting to grips with the Adobe Audition software. Now, if anyone's ever used Adobe Audition, you will know that the learning curve is quite steep. Getting sound levels right and getting the fade envelopes correct, and fades and things like that correct, and background music tracks at the right volume. So I've been doing a lot on that, and I'm pleased to say that it's now finished, and I've done the hour-long show for them, and that's on a non-profit charity radio station called KTCRFM, Keynsham Town Community Radio, and that's going to be broadcast later on today. But that's what's taken up a whole trench of my time, so I haven't been concentrating very much at all on the video side of things or the repair side of things. But I've now set up a little audio studio. I've got my Technics deck here, I've got my video cleaner here, and I want to show you a new addition to my equipment, and that is the Gemini DRP1 digital recorder. I'm going to show you some pictures of that in a minute, and it's one that I was able to fix. There's not much wrong with it. A couple of slide switches were dirty, and once I got my head around the formatting of the USB memory sticks, so the USB sticks, which it's a bit critical about, I was well away, and now I can put in a 64 gig memory stick and record onto it, add voice, and mix in things like that. So I'm quite intrigued with that. In a minute I'll show you my other little studio where I do the actual recording on Adobe Audition. But first of all, let's have a little look at this. So let's have a closer look at this digital recorder. Well, on the front you can see a mic line selector switch, and you can select the mic or the line from the rear or the front. There's an input gain switch, low, normal or high, and an input select switch, rear or front. So that can all be selected on that panel. And then you have the screen showing the files. On the other side you have a stop back switch, a play and pause switch, and a record switch. On the record switch you have to press it once to set your levels, press it twice to start recording. And at the far end you've got a time which shows you the elapsed time or the time that you have to run. You have a format display for WAV or for MP3, and you can also set the bit rate there. And then a headphone socket and a headphone gain control is there as well. And of course the on and off switch. So altogether quite a compact unit. And then lastly we move on to the display, and I've got the display set up here with a recording which is being made. You can see it's selected for 128 bits, MP3, and the elapsed time is 19 seconds, and the bars for stereo are down the bottom. And as I say, you can preset that before you actually start recording. And then you've got the record level switch. Back in my my other editing suite, having put together the digital files that I needed from downstairs on the digital recorder from different sources, vinyl, CD and cassette, I've now returned here where I've got two pieces of software open, and this is where things can get a bit tricky. On this screen you see I'm editing the video that I'm making at the moment. So this is DaVinci Resolve, and this is me editing what I'm going to be putting up to YouTube in a half an hour or so. On this screen I've got the radio program that I made last week, and putting in the various clips and music that was needed, and this is Adobe Audition. Now it didn't occur to me, oops, let's get it all back. It didn't occur to me that making an audio program for transmission is far more complicated than actually making a video for YouTube. Okay, you've got a visual on this. This is all audio, and because it's going to be transmitted on FM or DAB, then you can't afford to have any clicks or weird stuff in the background. It's all got to be pretty smart. And to do that, well, I'm using Adobe Audition. There's Audacity, which is another piece of software which you can use. But I've now learnt this, and I think I'm getting there with it. Obviously, you can do lots with it. You can take out lots of bits and pieces. For instance, on an audio file here, I can actually look at my audio in a great deal of detail, and move in and take out just little pieces of it if I need to do that, it can be very good, and you have to learn to put envelopes in, adjust your dB levels so that they're all constant across the audio, nothing going up or down, and to make sure that your mixer is your graphic equalizer doesn't vary between clips. So that's what I've been learning here. The other thing with this, you have to buy lots more equipment to make an audio a broadcast. I ended up finding my microphone was too noisy, so I ended up buying this, which is a better microphone. I mean, it's not brilliant, but it's a toner microphone, and it's a cardioid microphone, and it has a phantom power supply, 48 volts. In order to get 48 volts, I had to buy a decent mixer which gives a 48 volt output for the microphone. Also had to buy an isolation stand so that the mic is fairly isolated from things on the desk, a breath baffle here, and so those are just two of the items that I had to get extra, and by doing that you can get quite good sound quality, which I'm quite pleased with. I'm also going to use this, of course, for doing voiceover on my YouTube videos. So quite a lot of extra stuff, but very enjoyable. However, can I just say that let me put all this back out of the way. The scope for errors moving between two pieces of software, editing and radio production, is quite high. Obviously, I don't need both of them open, and I don't need this open at the moment. So what I'm going to do is actually close this piece of software and get that out the way, and I'll just get rid of that. So we'll go back to there, and I'll bring it back over the software which I'm using at the moment, which is my Adobe Audition, and we'll put that up, and I'll put the files up that I'm going to be working with, so that they can be visible to me. So we're back in using Audition again, and no, we're not. There you go. See, we're back using we're back using DaVinci Resolve, and doing the various edits that I need to do on that. So yeah, it's getting there, and that really explains why I've not been devoting much time to repairs, simply because I haven't had much time to repairs, and of course I haven't had much to repair, which makes more sense. There's lots of data that I needed to collect to do the program that I've just produced, and I'm just going to give you a shot of some of the material I used to get that data to put on. And just a little bit about copyright. Obviously I can't show you or play you any of the files I use for this, or for the broadcast, because of copyright. But the radio station I'm producing it for have those copyright permissions, so that's okay. On here I'm using Bend Sound, which is copyright-free software. So that's it. I'm going to oh, did I mention the headphones? Got to get decent headphones. So I got a pair of Sennheiser, not brilliant quality ones, but decent ones, headphones, so that when you're making a recording you don't get feedback, and that's excellent from your external audio system. So quite pleased with all this. Let me just show you a few things I use to gather data for my broadcasts that I've done. Before I do that, I'd like to mention another distraction that I have from repairing things, and that's baking things. And I did a clip in my last video about baking stuff, and it got a huge response. So here's some more of the baking I've been doing rather than repairing. I thought you might have a quick look at this before we move on. There's my bread, my cappuccino coffee cake, and my raspberry jam-filled buns, plus some chocolate-topped tea cakes, just to keep people happy. And I don't do that every week, but it's a nice distraction, and I enjoy doing it. Now, I did mention getting all my material. Well, there's lots of sources for old radio material, and I was looking back, you have to remember, to the late 50s through the 40s, 50s and 60s of radio programs, and they involve things such as the post-war programs such as Wilfred Pickles and Have a Go Joe, Two-Way Family Favourites, stuff like Music While You Work, and these days it's not Music While You Work so much as Music While You Shop, but all those kind of programs, right up through Educating Archie, Billy Cotton Band Show, and the Huggets, Mrs. Dale's Diary. I could go on and on and on. But to get all that material, oh, sorry, I need a sip. To get all that material, you need to do a lot of digging, and I like to do it. I know I do a lot on the internet and Wikipedia, but I like to do a lot of it through books. And I picked up this one at the Book Barn, which is a huge second-hand book redistribution centre we have near where I live, For the Love of Radio 4. And this was a goldmine of material. It covers stuff like I'm Sorry, I Haven't a Clue, and I'm Sorry, and all the characters that were in that, some of the things that were said in it, and all the different stars that appeared in it. And it covers everything from the Warriors right through, and a lot of the characters, Kenneth Horne, Richard Dimbleby, Cliff Mitchelmore, all these people, all covered in that. So I got a lot of information from that. The other one, and this was quite an expensive one, let me dig it up, was the Radio Times cover story. I paid a lot of money for that. I think it cost me £25. But in there, you've got all the covers of Radio Times right through from 90 years of classic covers. And it's amazing that in the early days, Radio Times used to cost 2p, not £3.80, which it costs today. And it was amazing when I was looking through it. I found this, I know it's not strictly radio, but I found that Radio Times cover in 1956 of David Attenborough in his programme Zoo Quest. And not very many weeks ago, In fact, in January, there was a Radio Times cover of David Attenborough, and he was introducing his new program, My Green Planet. So there we go. 1956, threepence, 2022, £3.80. Same guy though. Anyway, lots of information in that. And there's another one that I acquired here, which is a Radio Times story. And that goes into more detail about the programmers and the decisions made in making those programs. And looking at some of the adverts, they're just amazing. And it's just a very, very good book. Lots of information into it to pour back. And more recently, this one has been advertised, Radio Times, The War Years, 1939 to 1946. And of course, this one covers, iconic covers and things that you need to do to survive and feed yourself. And it covers the BBC microphone as well as some vintage adverts for Mars bars. Nothing in there about extreme Americano though. Anyway, there we go. There's those books. Now, I have to say that making a YouTube video maybe takes a day and a half. Making this hours radio program took me a couple of, I don't know how many hours it took, but at least a week. And most of that time was devoted to it, and that was 5 or 6 hours a day. So it took an awful long time to do it, because you have to be so careful about what you do. I can't include any audio clips on this video because of copyright, but of course the radio station I produced it for have all the necessary copyright permissions, so it was broadcast. And I think it went down very well. Thank you for listening to me and for understanding the reasons that I haven't been making repair videos. I will be getting back to it as soon as I've got something decent to repair. But at the moment, zilch, just an empty workshop. But I have been filling my time. Also been doing some stuff with community talking newspapers. That's being the technician, helping people, technician in the recording studio, recording people reading out news articles and then publishing them on USB memory sticks. So that's taken up some time as well. So keeping quite busy, keeping well, as I hope you all are. And I think I may as well end then, because the coffee's making me in a bit of a chatty mood. But thank you for watching again. And I won't leave it so long next time till I'm back with you. And as always, I want you to look after yourselves, and as always, take care. Oh, and a big thank you to all my viewers and subscribers. Take care, everybody.